board.
I have to believe spring is on, starting to kick in pretty good. So, okay, so it's 7:35. So good evening to all of you in this deep wing breakout. We have 50 minutes to, pardon me, spend together. First and foremost, I want to thank Ms. Kennedy McFadden. We tried to have some folks step up, and Kennedy was very energetic and earnestly volunteered to help. We had a Zoom call. I forget what night it was last week or whatever. But so we have here, I think, a total of 11 plays, and in each play, we're going to break it down. We'll talk about everything from positioning to signals to coverages to keys. And there is a chat box, so please, the 32 of you currently on, I'm guessing more will come once they familiarize themselves with that. We're up to 33 now. But anyways, please feel free. We'll go as deliberately as we need to. But again, my goal for you all is to spend about 40 to 50 minutes with video. And then we're going to do a thing I call open forum. And when we get to that, I'll kind of elaborate on a little bit. So Kennedy has, she's going to share plays. Her and Steve Citro went through some plays. They shared these plays with me last night, had the opportunity last night to look them over. And again, please, it's an open, folks, if you have any comments, questions, please don't hesitate. No question is overbearing, or no question is too simplistic. This is, I want everyone, when we're done here tonight, to walk away saying, I learned at least one thing. If we can do that, I think we're in pretty good shape. So the first play here, we see the team in punt formation. So obviously, as deep officials, the field judge and side judge are downfield. The side judge on this game right now, I don't know what half it is, but I believe the side judge is at the bottom and the field judge is at the top. And you see here an offensive player coming in late, getting set. Stop it here, please, Kennedy. And of course, we have nothing to do with that. We've counted the team in white, the defensive team. Hopefully, our field judge and side judge have counted 11 and across from each other, giving each other the thumbs up, whatever little signal that you give. But the kid coming on late for the punting team, that's really out of our domain. But obviously, we have to be aware of the play clock, our field judge. We're not going to see that superimposed, but whenever something like this happens, if you're the field judge, just immediately put it into your mind. Give a second look at the play clock, just in case you're either keeping it on your watch or in the unusual situation where it's actually a visible game clock. Just trigger your mind to think that way. Though should be an automatic, a better glance at it. Okay, so all right. With that said, let's take a look at the play, Kennedy, if we can run it, and then we might go back and look at it. So. And let's stop it here. Okay, so in the ideal world, I'm sorry?
I asked if you wanted me to play it again, but go ahead.
Okay, so yeah, that's okay. No worries, Kennedy. You're doing fine. What we'd like here is a little bit more of a cushion from, I think that's the field judge up top. We'd like a little more cushion as the kid runs back over his shoulder to catch the punt. Remember, the ideal viewing position on a punt is at least 7 yards back from where the kid catches it. Now, obviously, it was a good punt, and he had to run back for it, but just backpedal to try to maintain that at least 7, 8, 10 yards behind him. Now, right now, when we're here, what I want everybody to think about is as the kid in white returns the punt, there's no need to run with him. We want to stay behind him at least 7, again, 10 yards, much like a short wing would do on a line of scrimmage play where, a runner kind of breaks free up the line, whatever it is. So the runner's at about the 36, 37. The field judge, I think it is, deep wing, is at 30, 31. So as this player in white advances up the field, again, we do not want to sprint after him. As he runs up the field, it's certainly okay to jog, but you don't need to be moving at full sprint at full speed. Don't stand still once he gets beyond 10, but you don't need to. It's not a track meet. We're not here running a 100-yard or 100-meter sprint. So, okay, Kennedy. So, and you see here, keep it going. He gets tackled about the -48. if we can go back and look at the end of that, Kennedy, just, all right, that's fine. Just run it through. That's perfect. Here again, we see number 20 from Team A coming on late from the kicking team, Team K. All right. And again, here we want to back up a little bit more as the player backs up. All right, but we do a decent job of staying still. The kid's going to run it back about 18 yards. And this is when we jog at the end, and that's fine. And I like the fact that the field judge here is killing the clock as the player gets tackled. We don't want to wait till kill the clock because we know the clock stopping immediately right here. All right, I like the fact that he's killing the clock as he comes up the field. That's what we should be doing. We know the clock will next start on the snap, and it's it's around the 48. The white teams own 48-yard line. And as we come up the field, keep this in mind on the punt return, right, folks? The exact spot. We don't want to put like the 47 and a half but the 48 here is fine, or the 47, but let's put it on a tick. The goal line's not involved, or a long run back or something of that nature. So it should be the team in white's ball, 1st and 10 on their own right hash at their own 48. And once the play shuts down, we probably get a new ball in for white up here on their from their sideline. Let's get the ball in and then just jog downfield and get yourself 22 to 25 yards downfield as the next snap, as white offensive team is on the field and green's defensive team. So good play here to pick out, Kennedy. All right, next play, if we're good. Now, this play here, we're down by the goal line, so let's shut it down here now, right? If we can pre-snap here. All right, perfect, Kennedy. And we see here, it looks like it's an extra point. It looks like the snap's at the 3. I'm assuming the team just scored a touchdown. But let's not forget, we're still going to count the defense. Hopefully 11 players in green, all right? You see the referee here nice and wide, and we see our side judge and our field judge directly under the goalpost and back about 3 to 5 to 6 feet behind the upright, so that as the ball comes, we're just going to hold our ground, look up the upright, and then make a ruling. I like this here. It's well done between the side judge and the field judge for the fact that you'll see them, they kind of come out together, which looks good. It's a good optic. It's a good video, and give the same signal. One of the things that you'll see sometimes if you watch certain college games on television, some college conferences preach that only the ruling official on an extra point or a field goal gives either the good or the no good signal. Don't do that. Our manual, the 6-man NJFOA manual, stipulates that both officials shall give, in this case, the good, or if it's no good, the no good signal. So we just want to take a step forward. And before that, of course, the field judge is responsible for the whistle. I think that's the official on the right. Kennedy, is that correct?
Yeah, I'm on the left and the field judge is on the right.
Okay, yep. All right. Okay, very good. So, but the field judge should be hitting the whistle once the ball goes through or hits the upright or crossbar, whatever it is that causes the ball to become dead. So here's a good extra point optic. Okay, Kennedy. And so you stop it there. It's a good idea, like both of these officials do, to come to a stop. We're in absolutely no hurry after the ball is ruled either good or no good. So please, and remember our verbiage, we always say yes, yes, yes. And as you all know, or no, 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 it's really not good. It's not proper to say the word good or no good, because if John Doe is under the goalpost with myself and the ball's kicked and there's a decent sized crowd or there's a roar or whatever, if I say no good, he might only hear good. So he's going up and I'm going no good. That's about as bad as it gets. And believe it or not, folks, I know it sounds crazy. There have been numerous instances. If it happens once, it's too much. There have been numerous instances where under the goalpost, one official signals good, the other signals no good. And if you wish to lose credibility quickly, this is a great way to do it. So again, I like it here. And as Kennedy has stopped the video right here, just hold your ground. Just stay right there. Give it a good up. Hold your ground. Keep your eyes up front once you've determined the kick is good. Keep your eyes up front on the players. Okay, you're just observing at this point, but let everything settle down. We're always in too much of a hurry, so just be patient, slow down, settle down. You come out, good, hold the signal, and then go about your duties to get set up for the next kickoff of the field where you'll be lining up at. So, okay, thank you, Kennedy. All right, so our third play here, we get a situation where if you look at this here, it's go back to the beginning, please, Kennedy. Okay, the question on this play is there OPI before the pass is thrown? And if we can just, Kennedy, again, go back to the pre-snap, please, with the trips left. Okay, right here, just stop it there, okay? So we know with 6 men, all right, that's fine. All right, we got trips formation. So number 4 in green, who's keying him? You want to put in the chat box or whatever. Who keys number 4 in this formation at the snap? Right here. Who's keying number 4? The kid who's at the 40.5-yard line at the bottom, the split end. Whose key is he? I don't know if you want to type it in. I'm sure everybody knows it would be the deep wing. And then we put a lot on the short wing here, the 2 guys in the slot. Okay, exactly right, Anthony. Okay, the deep wing, exactly. Thank you, Anthony Dondarski, if I said that incorrectly. I apologize. But so the deep wing has number 4. The short wing has the second and third receiver inside. And this is where it gets a little bit difficult. Now, the nice thing here, as a deep official, teach yourself this. When the defensive team gets set up here, this team in white, is anybody press covering your key? And the answer here is no. The defensive back, it looks like number 1 in white. He's about 6 yards deep. He's not in press coverage. So it's not going to be a case where we're right at the line of scrimmage. He pops a kid in the face or under the face mask or something like that. That always makes life a little bit easier for deep wings. And so all we're going to do here is we're going to sit tight. We're not going to move a whole lot when the ball snaps. We're going to hold our water. We're going to hold our water and let number 4 tell us what's happening. And the kid's going to run a quick stop pattern. They all kind of do here. And they're just trying to complete a short pass. It's 1st and 10, as you can see up top with the sticks. So, Kenny, let's run it through to where the quarterback throws the ball and it's caught. Yeah, perfect. So what we're going to see here is we have our short wing throwing an OPI foul on number 15 in green, who is right now on his own 49-yard line, kind of with his back to the sideline as he ran the pattern. Kenny, can we go back and look? And I'd like everyone just to take a look at 15. He's the kid. Okay, now watch 15 as he goes out. Now right there. Okay, so the issue is this, and it's a tough, very difficult play because it's time. There's no doubt in my mind that he's blocking downfield. I'm sure you'd all agree with that. But the question is, did he block before or after the ball was caught? Obviously, if he blocks after the ball's caught, we have no issue whatsoever. The issue is, did he block before the ball was caught? And if he did, we know we have all the elements of OPI. It's a legal forward pass across the line of scrimmage, and we have contact prior to the ball being touched beyond the line of scrimmage by, in this case, Team A. So this our short wing throws a flag here. Okay, it's unlikely on this play as a deep wing we can weigh in with anything. Our guy doesn't really get involved. Number 1 on defense reacts to the pass, and he gets off of number 4. This is the kind of play, and you'll hear me say this probably 2 or 3 times tonight. It would be great to have a back judge, but we don't. So it's really foolish, frankly. It's not pragmatic for me to say it would be nice to have a back judge. That goes without saying. But this is one of those plays that if you get the chance to see the video of either team, you just want to have like an antenna up for a play like that. It's a well-designed play, and make no mistake, folks, I promise you this is taught. This is absolutely positively taught. It's practiced, it's rehearsed, and they're trying to time it up so that number 15 blocks after the ball is caught. So if we can go back one more time, Kennedy, and take a look, okay? and just play the play in your mind, everyone. Play this play in your mind and try to, okay. Was the blocking before, excuse me, before the catch? I think a flag here is justified, but it's very tight. Does anybody have any chat box things? Please go ahead. Kennedy, you have any thoughts on this?
So my only thought was, and Steve brought it to my attention when we were in the season, that because my key wasn't threatened or anything like that, I could have helped out with the OPI call if I just widened my vision a little bit.
Yeah, and that's again assuming that your receiver is not pressed, which he was not. That's kind of what I would call at least master's level, if not graduate level work. But it's good to think like that. It's good to put it into your mindset. It's good to put it into your repertoire. So, and Anthony, I think you're correct on this. Again, I happen to think this is early, but it's tough. If I was grading this game, I would rule that this as a correct call. But it's very, very difficult. And I can assure you the green coach is not a happy camper when he looks at this video. I promise you, a coach is going to say, no, it was simultaneous to when the guy caught the ball or got whatever. That's neither here nor there. Okay, good.
Hey, Jim. It's
Yes.
Ryan McCleary.
Hi, Ryan.
How are you?
I'm good. You?
Good. Just a quick question on that one. Philosophically, whether the block's early or not, I think it's pretty close. I think it probably is early too. That kid ends up getting tackled where he catches the ball. We want to even hold that maybe a second later philosophically, since the block didn't have a lot of impact, or do we want that on the ground?
So I just mentioned the words, Ryan, master's degree. You just hit upon, to quote Eddie Camp, that's graduate level plus work. So you're in some doctorate program somewhere. I know you're an educator, but so to your point, if we just always hold our water, that means with our eyes and our body, as far as throwing a flag, we might think, you know what, the kid caught it, but it had no effect. It wasn't like a defender got knocked out of the way so this kid could catch it and run with it. So again, I think technically, I do think it's OPI. If we miss it, there's probably a few legit reasons why we might have passed on it, and you just hit upon one of them.
Okay. Yeah, no, I agree. It probably is as well. I just wondered if, like we said, with the result of the play and everything there.
So folks, and I read the chats. Thank you. Very good. Think like this when you're an official. Teach yourself this. Mentally rehearse this. Okay. Just say the words to yourself. Hold your water. If you say that a couple times, it becomes almost second nature. And while we're always, all of us, every one of us that's ever put on a black and white shirt and stepped onto a gridiron, we are always in a hurry too much. And all I know is the slower we go, the better we are. The slower we go, the better we are. So, yeah, great question,
Jim,
Ryan.
Jim, this is Andy Horn. Can you hear me?
Hi, Andy. I can.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good.
The question I had was for Kennedy, when they were saying that maybe she could also be another set of eyes on it. I mean, would that be to come in and pick up the flag then? I mean, because I don't.
Yeah. Okay. So not physically pick it up, but
No, I mean,
right. So let's say you're the deep wing here, and you went from number 4 to where the ball was. Okay. My first question to you was, if any of us come to a play late, we're usually wrong with our ruling. But if you're positive, Andy, that block was before the ball was caught, I think what you're getting at, and I know you know this because we've talked about it in meetings in the summertime. When you go to the short wing, all you want to do is say, "Hey, I have the block after the catch."
Right. Okay.
Now, if the short wing, says, "Hey, thank you, appreciate it, we'll pick it up," fine. If he says, "Nope, I'm good with it, we're sticking with it," it is what it is. My point is that if you get to know your crew, whatever the case would be, how much do you trust the guy, girl, whatever it is, are you positive that the block was not early?
Gotcha. Okay.
Or did you come to it late and think that it wasn't early?
Yep, makes sense. Thanks.
So yeah, no, it's a good point. A question here in the chat. Will Scott, Dr. Scott, good evening. If we're passing on this because it did not have much to do, like an effect on the play, are we warning the coach? No, I don't think so. Great question, Dr. Will. I think sometimes we get too much into the habit of trying to appease coaches. There are times when it's good to be kind of proactive communicatively. Hey, coach, I saw this, whatever. I don't think this is one of those plays because it's so close. The coach is going to wonder when he looks at the video, how the hell does this guy see this? I just think it's too close to splitting hairs to do that. There is a time and a place for that, though. In my opinion, this is not a play to do it. But again, Doctor, good thinking. I like it when folks are thinking what I call thinking officiating. So, okay, next play, Kennedy.
Touchdown by Jones, extra point by Jones.
Stop it here if we can, right? And pre-snap.
How do I do this?
All right. So we have a kickoff here. All right. And we're going to see the team that's kicking off kind of move their personnel around here. We don't care about that, frankly. We really don't. But let's just know where we're at here, right? We have our side judge at the 40-yard line at the bottom of the screen. We have our field judge correctly aligned up the top of the screen at the 50-yard line, and our umpire behind. Now, we're not here to umpire, but the umpire should be deeper. You got to get deeper than the kicker, who we know can go 30 yards back if he wants to. Not that he's going to, but that's just a little too tight there. As an umpire, you should be about 10 yards behind the ball, like around the 30-yard line. Okay, so there's no reason to be this tight. Guys are running past you. They're right in front of you. Just back up. Just back up. Okay, there's absolutely no reason to be at the 36-yard line when the ball's at the foot. Back up. So now, as we know the rule, 4 and 6 or 5 and 5, they're the only two legal alignments that the kicking team can utilize. Obviously, the receiving team can do anything. And before anybody goes in the chat box, if you are one of those officials that watches this USFL when it starts in late March, like actually I think it's a month from today, like March 27th or something, they're using all kinds of different rules on kickoffs. They're going to kick off from the 30. There's going to be a zone the guy has to kick it into. But please don't even think about something like that in an NJFOA game because it's obviously not applicable. But the larger point I'm trying to make, without getting too off topic here, is there is a great deal of discussion amongst rules people as to kickoffs in general. The NFL, I think minimally you're going to see them move it back to the 30. Because I think I read somewhere, an NFL friend of mine said, I think 84% of kickoffs in the NFL this year were not returned. And it's almost like a wasted play. But we're not anywhere near there in high school. So I think we're still going to have them, which means we got to do it well, do it right. So, okay, Kennedy, if you could run this play here. This is for the guy up front. He never starts the clock. And we should not either, by the way, on this play. We being obviously the field judge or the side judge. Now, Kenny, if you can go back to the beginning of this, just want to point something out. It's hard to tell it on the video, but want to make sure everybody understands what I'm saying here. If you're the side judge here down at the 40-yard line, do not move until every single one of the 11 players on the kicking team passes you. Just hold your order. Just stay still. So immediately, like a second and a half after the ball's kicked, all 11 defensive players and all 11 return team players are already now, you're behind them. That's exactly what we want. Similarly, at the 50-yard line up at the top, the field judge, that official should not move until all 11 players in white, the kicking team players, Team K, pass him. There's no reason, folks, to move. Put your head on a swivel and observe on this. So it's hard to see because the camera guy goes right away with the ball. But think about that as Kennedy runs this a second time. Okay, shut it. Now, this is absolutely outstanding coverage by the field judge up top and the side judge down the bottom. And this is the type of play, folks. Put yourself for a minute, reverse your role with the short wing who starts on the goal line pylon at the other end. There's no way in the world. I mean, we could have Edward Moses officiating this game. There's no way in the world the short wing is going to get a good spot 93 yards away. It's not going to happen. So if you watch here, our side judge does a really, really nice job of getting deep, getting cushion, and then coming back. You see right here in the picture, boy, that really looks good. Stopping the clock and getting the forward progress spot, I guess about the 7 or the 6 yard line. And up top, you can't see it, but the field judge has also done a good job. And again, if you're the umpire here, you do not have goal line responsibility. You don't even have to worry about it. Not that we need to know it, but now right here where Kennedy has it stopped, look at the side judge with the yellow circle around that official, and now look upfield. And this guy does a great job of hustling. Great job. He's come 75 yards, and that's great. But imagine if we're asking him to get the forward progress spot of this very long kickoff return. Virtually impossible. So this is one of those times, and again, this is really well done. This is a great optic for correct mechanics by the side judge here to get back and do a really nice job. Okay, this is absolutely excellent. I watched this a couple times last night, and I said to myself, this side judge is in tune with the game. You can smile, Kennedy.
Don't do that.
All right. So go ahead, play it through. Go ahead, please.
From the beginning?
No, just from here. So good. Nice. Now, I would be a little more deliberate coming in there, right? You got a spot, stay outside and look at human beings as they, run away from the play or whatever the case should be. You run one more time. That's fine. That's fine. Done. Stopping, getting to the goal line, and then kind of coming back. And I love the fact, folks, teach ourselves this. When you as a deep winger getting forward progress, such as on this play, just come back and square it off at a 90-degree angle. Don't come in at an angle. And that's exactly what our side judge does here. Goes back to the sideline and then squares it in. That's a perfect optic. If I was grading this play, I would actually give it a +1, which means not only correctly done, but like a bonus, whatever you want to call it. This is really nice to watch. And again, once it shuts down here, all right, if orange players separate with white, just stay outside. You're good enough right there. Get the spot at the 6. The umpire is going to put it down. We're going to get a new ball on anyways. But I could watch this play a lot, and it's a lot of really good stuff on this play. Good hustle, good mechanics, good stopping the clock, and a really nice square off. So this is a great teaching play for all of us. Okay, I think the next play is
Gain of about 6. Second
watch the action in front of the runner. All right, you got it, Kennedy. Now, we can back that up, Kennedy. All right, thank you. What I'd like everyone to do is look at number 10 in white as they come out. Now they're in trips. Go ahead, Kennedy. And then please stop it just before the snap.
gain of about 6. Second and 4.
Okay, good. All right. All right, so what we'd like to do here is zero in on the number 2 receiver, the kid who has his left foot at about the 27 and his right foot about the 26. Now they're in trips, and then they're going to motion him back to kind of create like a real overload here. you want to call it quads, that's up to you, but it's almost a guarantee they're coming to this side, or a quick pop to the receiver up top, who's going to be single covered by the nature of the formation. But I'd like you all to watch the second guy in, number 10 for the white team. Just watch him as this play develops. Now we stop it here. And that stuff, I can't tell even from this angle if he pulls the defender down or if the defender grabs him and pulls him down kind of on top of him. My only thought here is it'd be really good if the deep wing can help on this. And it's tough because he's being driven back by the kid at the 49 in white. This is a really difficult play to officiate, folks. The short wing's got a lot going on. First of all, was it forward or backward? Second of all, forward progress. And third of all, the block by number 10 is actually his key. This is if you're a short winger, this is called a nightmare. Very, very difficult play. And again, I don't have a good enough angle on it to ascertain if it's an offensive hold or if we're just going to just leave it go. But it's a tough play, a lot going on here. And the referee is probably not going to be able to help with this. Could the umpire? Unlikely, frankly. He's a long way away. You got some players in the way there. Please don't admit this publicly to a coach, but there are certain plays in a football game which, whether you have 6 officials, 7, or even 8, there are certain plays which they just kind of get away from us sometimes. The nature of the play, the formation, what happens. And it doesn't happen a lot, but there are certain plays that are just, frankly, kind of beyond the mechanics that are out there for the number of officials that we have in the NJFOA. It is what it is. That's not an excuse. You don't ever want to tell a coach that. All right. But there are some plays that you go back, if you can, Sunday, Monday, whatever, and look at and say, boy, that was the play that caught my eye. Or, I know when I was in college, I would take a game card and I had it like a blue index card. That's what it was. And any play I would just say second quarter at 6:18. That meant when I got home, I would want to look at that play on the video because something caught my eye or my mind. I might not even have time to write it down, but I would say, okay, 6:18, second quarter, whatever, Carolina off, whatever the scenario would have been. This is a tough play here. Very tough play. Okay, Kennedy. Yeah. I'll look for DPI here, see what you all think. The first DPI of the night, potential DPI. Good. So it's no surprise people in the press box, whomever else is there, whenever an official either calls DPI or doesn't, it usually elicits the loudest reaction at a football game. So as we back this play up and run it over, all right, I want you to think about a couple things here from an officiating perspective. One, this player. All right, can we stop it here, Kennedy? All right. Now look at the field judge, okay, or the side judge up top, wherever it is. All right, they're 25 yards deep into snap. I personally like that. Okay, they're on the sideline. If they were a step off even farther, that's fine. We know their key is the guy at like the 35.5 with his right foot. Now we're going to get a wheel route here, which makes it a little bit tough because it's not our initial key as a deep wing. The first thing to do is try to keep your cushion. I think the deep wing does an okay job of that on this play. And then you ask yourself, as the ball's in the air, you're going to see the kid on defense. He's beat. So if he's beat, we give him no leeway. Now we know face guarding is legal, right? We understand we have to have contact for a foul. That rule got changed in high school maybe a year or two before COVID. I don't remember exactly. It doesn't matter. But we need physical contact for a foul. Again, if the guy is beat, which he is here, okay, we don't give him any leeway if there's even slight contact because he's beat. This would be different if he's, come from the side or something. It's really hard to play the ball on defense if you're beat. we don't have eyes in the back of our head. So let's run it again, Kennedy, and right at the mesh point. Can you shut it down?
Sure.
Try to, just, okay.
Right there-ish.
Right here.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, it looks like the kid on defense, I can't really tell his number, but he clearly is looking back late. Okay. Looking back late. Now, from a mechanic standpoint, if we look at our deep wing here, the one thing we do not want to do, folks, is over on the goal line. So what we have to teach ourselves pre-snap, hey, we started at the 10. You just kind of have a feel. Now, of course, the pylon's there, and I like the fact that that G thing is way off the field where it belongs. Everybody knows I can't stand that. So at any rate, we get we have a good cushion here, but I would like us to be wider, but at the goal line extended and not 2 yards, 2.5 yards in the end zone. In the ideal world, unless the ball is thrown into the end zone, try to teach yourself not to overrun the goal line. Okay. So if we're where we prefer to be, and this isn't terrible or anything, but I do think it looks to me as though the defender is not playing the ball and does contact the receiver. And I think you'll see as the play shuts down, we have a flag coming from the deep wing. I like this when I saw it last night. I like it again. Now let's just, because we hopefully work in cruise a lot, look upfield at the short wing. Okay. The ball was snapped at the 35-yard line. Eddie Camp teaches on a play like this as a short wing, don't sprint down the field. This official here who's still at the 35, he snaps his head. He can get a look at this as well. And there's nothing wrong with him, if he has it, throwing a DPI on this as well. I don't think we do that enough. I don't think we teach it enough. I don't think we emphasize it enough. But Eddie Camp uses the phrase snap your head, meaning once the ball's in the air, snap your head. Let the ball turn your head. Okay. And if you're still, you get a good look at this. And again, I do think that a DPI call is warranted here. So before Kennedy runs it through, say this to yourself right now tonight. If we call this DPI, where will the next snap be from? Remember, we started at the plus 35, right? So when you throw your flag on this, you have to know that it's obviously more than 15 yards downfield. So we know in high school, it's going to become how many yard penalty? Anyone chat box or verbally? Did you all go away? How many yard foul is this going to be? Okay. 15 yards is correct, Dr. Scott. And so whoever else chimed in, thank you very much, Eugene. Correct. Kevin, thank you. And the point of it is when you report this, you got to tell the referee, I got DPI. My flag's at the 13. We're going previous 15. And my point is this. Think about this. Think this through. Whenever the ball is next snapped, the offensive team should be on the right hash because that's where the lateral location of the ball was. It's a previous spot, 15-yard foul. So we got to go back to the right hash from 35 down to the 20. Do the little things correctly all the time. You'd be amazed at how well things go when we do that. So put that all together in your thought process. Okay, Kennedy, can you run it one more time, full speed, and then we'll go to the next flag. We have a chat. A pen distance. Well, yeah, the penalty. It was 10 yards to go for the first down, right? So we know it's going to be the 15-yard foul will give the team a first down. I think the point Anthony is making is it is no longer, as we know in high school, it is not an automatic first down.
Right. Yeah, it was. I think it was fourth and 13 or 14 there. So
Yep.
the penalty would have just gave them enough for a first. Yep.
To the 20-yard line. And again, thank you, Anthony. Thank you very kindly. Look, folks, we're on the right hash. That's where the next snap should be at the
Yes.
20-yard line. 35 to the 20 on the right offensive hash mark. Do the little things correctly. Okay, Kennedy, next play. Now here we see some press coverage. Let's go back so we find what the thing is. All right, go back to please to the play. And this is a kid busted real long, but look at the kid, the defensive back who's pressing the split end at about the kid's right foot is like at the 15 and a half and his left foot at the 15. This is press coverage. We got a zone in on this. Watch the defensive back, the kid in the black shirt. I can't see his number, but watch his hands. Okay, Kennedy? Okay, stop here, please. Okay, so again, this is another wheel route. Our key as a deep wing is not the guy that caught the ball. All right, but the question is, was there defensive holding here? It looked to me as though the kid grabbed him and turned him. And this is really tough for us because we got to transition from our key, who looks like he's being held, to now a kid coming at us, a wheel route, which is a very common play whenever you have twins or trips in a formation. You got to teach yourself that as a deep wing. Twins or trips, just say to yourself, all right, what yard line you're on, and be alert for the wheel route, meaning a kid coming out of the background, kind of looping behind a receiver. Very, very a common play in this day and age. And obviously this quarterback's good. This team's, I don't know where these teams are from. It doesn't matter. They got some talent here. And the kid throws a nice pass and he goes all the way down to like the 19. We get beat on it. Guess what? Welcome to the world of deep officiating. Whether you have 6 officials, 7 or 8, it happens. And it's probably worth mentioning here, and this will come up in Sayreville. It's already in my notes. If you watch the NFL and if you watch the USFL coming this spring, you're going to see time and time and time again, folks, you are going to see a lot of officials downfield get beat. Please understand that is what the NFL is now teaching. They call it MWP, move with a purpose, MWP. And they're okay with even their back judges getting beat deep. Certainly they're okay with their field judge and side judges getting beat. That's nice, but we don't have the luxury of replay, and that's why they can do it. We don't have that luxury, so we still have to revert to trying to keep our cushion. Now, believe me, on a play like this, there's probably not a lot of people on this call that are going to be able to keep the cushion throughout the length of this play. The deep wing recognizes what's happening, gets on their horse, and does the best they can with it. When you got the kid tackled at like the 19, just stay there. Don't chase after the ball. Just stay there, observe with your eyes, make sure he doesn't spike the ball, make sure there's nothing late, whatever, celebration, anything of that nature. But just hold the dead ball spot. If you're going to move, it doesn't have to be at a sprint once you get the dead ball spot. If you have to, it's okay to drop a beanbag and just walk towards the players. Don't attack them. That's the term. Don't attack players by sprinting at them. Don't do that. It's a very bad optic. And it's just not acceptable in football officiating. So long gain, I think they gained a total of about 61 yards on this play. And again, if I was grading this, there's no downgrade here. I like the hustle. The reaction was good. It's just one of those plays. It is what it is. And up top, our field judge does a real nice job. That guy hustles all the time. I like that. Okay, Kennedy, we're going to have to, all right, let's go to play 10. Kennedy, the UNS as a player is running into the end zone, and then we'll do that open form thing I mentioned at the end. Okay. Now the ball's on the -41. Watch this, folks. I'll stop it here. Okay. Now we see, a 59-yard touchdown pass. And before the kid scores, he puts his hand up and kind of taunts and stuff like that. I don't know if you could see it, but the field judge up top does throw his flag on this for unsportsmanlike conduct. Let's make sure in high school we understand this because it's different than college and the NFL. Because he put his hand up and taunted before he scores, in high school, we call this live as dead. What does that mean? Can anyone in the chat box or just verbalize it? Live as dead. What do we mean by that? Anyone? Maybe I'm not asking the question well enough. Okay. All right. Here, score counts. Thank you. Okay. All right. So, all right. First and foremost, the score in high school does count. This is a touchdown in high school. You throw your flag, you signal touchdown. And the only thing I would add to a couple people after the thing is the defense can have the penalty enforced either on the PAT or the kickoff. Let's suppose, I don't know, the score 17-10. It's late in the game. Now it's 17-16. If I'm on defense here, I want the penalty enforced on the extra point. Very less likely to make it, right? That kind of thing. So, and if you're watching a college game, folks, just again, or an NFL game, if they call this, the touchdown does not count. It becomes a live ball spot foul from like the 3 or 4 yard line back to the 18 or 19. So let's understand, again, we might have a difference from a Friday night to a Saturday afternoon to a Sunday game. Okay, but good job here by the field judge doing this. I think it is a good call, and you're going to get a lot of shit for it. Pardon my French. That's just the nature of society today. But the book is clear. This does qualify as a UNS without a doubt. No need for it. Hey, coach, great play, but your kid, coach, you got to do a better job with him. Last thing I want to do is throw him out of the game, coach. Tell a coach that. The last thing I want to do is throw a kid out of the game. Okay, there's a thing here. Situation in the high school casebook. Yep, exactly. Okay. So with that done, and we're not done here. We got like 3 minutes, but I would like just what I called an open forum. I was hoping for more time, and I apologize that it didn't work out that way. But again, Kennedy, thank you for collaborating with Steve on these plays and for your thoughts and comments on them. I personally appreciate that a great deal. Folks on the call, I think there was 41 in our room tonight, 41 or 40. I can't thank you enough. I'll leave you with this as deep officials. If you don't get anything out of tonight, please, please, please teach yourself to be clock aware. Clock awareness, whether it's the game clock, whether it's the play clock, teach yourself. Get yourself, you can save a crew by being clock aware. And of course, almost all of our stadiums have only one game clock, and most don't have any play clock, although there is, of course, on the field judge's wrist or whatever it is. But the point I'm making is teach yourself to be clock aware. You will save a crew someday. You will save a game one day. So it is 8:24. And again, I can't thank folks enough. I don't know how this format, you're going to get a survey from Steve Citro asking your opinion of the format. And my only request is that you be honest. Is it worth it to do this again next year? And maybe during this season at a chapter meeting, a Zoom chapter meeting, this breakout format. So again, thanks to each of you for coming on. My hope is that you didn't waste a Tuesday night here as February soon gets into March. Again, Kennedy, thanks a lot. And I hope to see as many of you possible on later meetings, and certainly, hopefully at Sayreville on Saturday, August the 3rd. I think it's going back to Scott Campbell in a minute. So again, folks, thank you so very kindly. Really appreciate it. Thanks a lot.